What's up, family? Welcome back to my channel, or our channel. Welcome back. If you are new, hello, welcome. My name is Alicia. This is my husband, Tim. And on this channel, we just like to talk about our life. We like to talk about God. I like to share budgeting tips. Eventually, we'll get there. And just all things, lifestyle and the Christian lifestyle and that kind of thing. So if you want to join the family, go ahead and click that subscribe button below. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up and comment below whatever you guys want to see in the future from us, as well as, if you have any questions or comments based on, what we are about to talk about. So speaking of that, as you can see by the title of this video, today might be a little touchy for us and maybe for some of you all. But we just wanted to kind of share our story, our journey so far as pregnancy is concerned, and this being our second pregnancy and how our first one went and all that kind of stuff. And just kind of be transparent with you guys a little and sharing our feelings towards everything. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So just to kind of start off, I guess we can kind of share how we felt before we even knew we were pregnant the second time. So let's go back. So the first time back last year in, I want to say July, we found out that we were pregnant. We were still newlyweds, just fresh, and I guess finding out that we were pregnant so soon, I was definitely cool with it. I think I was excited about it, and I think I was ready, mentally, or just you get excited about that kind of stuff. But for you, how was it finding out that we were pregnant the first time?
Oh, it was immediate fear.
Yeah.
It was fear, anxiety, worry. Like she said, we just got married. It was only July, so it's like I ain't even broken to half of what I think this first year was gonna be. I was very much I want to be married for a year and then maybe talk about having kids in that second year. So yeah, no, when she first told me that we were pregnant, your boy was scared. Definitely fear.
Yeah. And I think the first time that I told him, of course, and this will kind of segue into how this time is, but the first time, me being super excited, right? I'm like, ooh, let's do a YouTube video about it. And so I think I did the whisper challenge to him. So I was doing the whisper challenge, and I was like, we're having a baby, right? I whispered that, and he's like, no, we're not. And so, and even looking back on that pregnancy, we were obviously in two different places mentally about it and everything like that. And so eventually, of course, we ended up finding out that we had a miscarriage.
And this was in September.
This was September, yeah. September 11th at that is when we went to the doctor and we found out that the baby was no longer living.
Of all days.
Of all days, right.
So that's July that we find out, right? So July, August, September. So in that second and third month, especially by the time September gets here, I'm coming to it's okay, the baby, July was maybe the month to be oh my God, we're having a baby. August is okay, she's pregnant, she's going to appointments, it's real. It's not this thing that is a dream, it is real. She's having symptoms. She was sick enough for the both of us. She she had all, everything was there to say this is a real thing. So eventually, Tim, you gotta accept that this is real. So by the time September is here, I'm settling in to, we're having a baby. Not that I don't think, I mean, for you guys who have kids, I don't know if you ever felt like you were all the way completely prepared. I'm about to say compare, but if you were all the way completely prepared to be a parent, like what is completely prepared, right? But I think for me, I was at least getting to the point to where, for where we were in pregnancy, I was accepting it. Yeah. Like so especially, I think that's an important part, especially for me in dealing with the miscarriage, because I definitely don't want to give the idea that because I wasn't happy, or not happy, or because I wasn't as excited about having the baby in the beginning, that there was some type of joy or something, find out that we had a miscarriage. Like it wasn't like a, yes, we don't, like, no, it was definitely, it wasn't that. By this time, like, it definitely was like, it was a shot in the gut, because it's like, God, like, I've done, and look at me, it's like, God, I've done all of this work to get prepared, and you're just gonna take this baby like this. So that definitely was a test of faith for me. Dealing with the miscarriage, it was like being from this place of I'm not ready to, okay, I'm gonna accept it, and then as soon as I am ready to hold on to it and accept it, it gets snatched out my hand, you know?
Yeah.
That probably was one of the toughest parts for me. You know, I don't know what you would call the toughest, but I just wanted to add that part in there, because like, it was 3 months, but in that 3 months, for me, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually, like, I was doing my best to try to prepare myself for what was coming, what was to come, like, you know, trying to move from that fear to faith.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I don't think we've ever really, like, I mean, of course, I think I understood that when we were going through it, but we've never, like, you know, I think had a long, drawn out conversation about the experience and that kind of thing.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, so you guys are kind of having this experience with us. So yeah, just from, I guess, my perspective, being, I guess, similar in the sense of, from the very beginning, I'm like super excited, you know, super ready and just on top of the world, that, you know, we were having this opportunity to bring a baby into the world and everything like that. And even going through, like, Tim's emotional journey of, you know, becoming more prepared or more ready,
really accepting.
Yeah, more accepting, more ready, and more, like, just excited together about having a baby and everything like that. It was, you know, we were getting used to it together, and it was just, it began to get really, you know, happy, like fun, happy, and just good. And then for it all to be kind of like put at a halt, like a sudden, like, just, you're going into the doctor's office thinking you're going to hear, you know, a heartbeat again, and then it's like, you don't. So it was really, really something. It was a traumatic experience overall. I think more than finding out that that the baby died, of course I cried in the moment and everything like that, but I think as time went on, because September we found out the baby miscarried, or we found out that we miscarried, but of course, if you don't know, you have different options as far as how the baby then comes out of you, because you're, not gonna go full term, and you're not really gonna go into labor, that kind of thing. So there were different options, like, I guess, what is it called? Well, basically like the little sucker thing. Yeah, it's like a suction thing, like, where they kind of vacuum the baby out of your uterus. Sorry, it's kind of graphic, but so you have, like, that option, and then you have an option to take a pill, to, I guess, get your body, to basically induce your body to, I guess, then have actual labor or whatever and kind of push it out, or to let it come out naturally. So we went with the natural option just because I didn't want to have that tool in me and then mess something up, and then eventually we can't have kids because this machine then went in there and messed something up. So we didn't want that option. And then I didn't want to take the pill because I actually think I had to take the pill rectally. I think they were saying they had to put the pill in my behind, and I didn't want that, and it was just, that just seemed like a lot too.
I think both of those options, they both included having to go to the hospital also, like being in the ER or something like that.
ER,
So those, like, having already dealing with the miscarriage, like being at the doctor's office more wasn't really like a thing. So like we definitely started with like, let's just try natural. It was less risk that way. Outside of like her going through a bunch of pain, there was less like long-term
consequences,
physical
with the
risk
other
at least.
And like speaking of the pain, everything, it was kind of weird. I guess our situation might have been rare in the sense that the baby had not come out for a month, so we went through a whole another month of kind of just being reminded that our little one just died, and that we just had to wait for it to come out because we were doing it naturally, and we didn't want to force it out or anything, or force the baby out. So we had to go through another month of waiting for the baby coming, and it was just like a constant reminder that our baby just died and he or she is still in there. So that in itself was emotional and like was draining. It was frustrating. But then when it was actually time for the baby to come, talk about pain, okay? Is not funny, but you gotta laugh to keep from crying sometimes, because it's just like that. I guess it did feel like a mini labor. Not to get too graphic or anything, it was like, I think we did go through the process of, I guess that's what that was, like my water breaking, or the barrier of like whatever the baby is in, the sac of amniotic fluid and all that kind of stuff, like that actually burst or broke or whatever. And then from that moment on, constant contractions and just days of pain trying to get this fetus out of me, and it was just a lot. It was traumatizing. When I finally when it finally came out and everything, it was kind of a relief in the sense of like we can finally move forward, I guess, from the situation. But of course the hurt of the baby dying was still there, but we didn't have that physical reminder still in me, I guess, is what was better from that point on. So thankfully we had a great support group. We had awesome friends, awesome family who were there for us and there with us. So there was a time where I was in between jobs and I would be at home by myself. So we just have great friends, and they're like, come stay with us, like however long. So I think we stayed with them for like the whole process, like that month.
At least, yeah.
When we found out we had a miscarriage, all the way until the baby passed out of me and everything, we stayed with them like that whole month. So we had an awesome support system, and just love, and everyone was calling me. Of course, during that time, it was like, stop calling me. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to feel. I don't want to go through all that again. Like, just let's move on from it, So I think that's another reason why we haven't really had this conversation like this deep with each other. Like, we went through the experience, so I think in my mind it was like, we don't need to talk about it. A lot. Like, of course, share if in the moment that, like that we would have moments where, at least for myself, I would have moments where I was really down and emotional in a particular day. And I would just share, I'm feeling this related to the miscarriage, or I feel like there was a time where I kind of felt like it was my fault with certain things. Of course, the doctors and everything were trying to reassure me that it happens. Miscarriages happen. You can't really control some of them, or certain ones like ours. It was a chromosomal, mishap. So like, it was my body ultimately protecting me, because it was this foreign thing kind of just growing and wasn't going to grow healthy. So my body rejected it, and then that led to miscarriage. So, I mean, to think about it, it's an awesome thing that our bodies know, when the baby may not be healthy or, come out to its full capacity and everything like that. So that's a blessing to know in that. But of course it was still pretty hard. But anyway.
No, yeah. If you would have tried to say that in the moment,
it would be like,
it would
what?
not have been accepted.
Get out of here, like, yeah.
I do want to put in there, like, talking about the support, like the importance of being able to take help. For me, that was hard because, like I said, nothing was wrong with our house. Nothing was wrong with, like, we could physically provide for ourselves, and like in the sense of like we had a home to come to, we had food we could cook, or money to eat out if we needed to. Like those things, it wasn't that we didn't have them, but to still have friends that were literally taking us in.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like she's at their house all day long. I'm
literally.
like I'm leaving work, going back to their house, leaving from their house, going to work. Like
dinners over there.
Yeah, like they're cooking. Like they're literally taking care of us. Like us. Understanding what the process is like. And for me, that was tough to accept that, because I'm very much of a person like, if you have and if you can provide for yourself, provide for yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you can do it, do it. That's the type of person that I am. So it's always been hard for me to accept help. Even if I needed help, it's always been hard for me to accept help. So it was a humbling experience to have to accept help and to really like let that healing process begin. I don't think it would have started as well, like the healing process. I don't think it would have started as well if we would have came back home initially. Not knowing what to talk about, not knowing what to say. Right. Like I said, not really knowing, trying to give her space, trying to be aware if I need space, like not really knowing what to do with my feelings. So to humble myself enough to say, you know what, I don't need to go home. I don't like someone's offering to take me in, someone's offering to cover me. Let me be covered in this moment.
Right. I think also like during that time, if we would have come home, it would have, I think, sunk in a lot deeper with us, and it could have turned into more of a depression more than, just sadness and hurt, that surface. Because I feel like for us it was surface level in the sense of it didn't really, I don't want to speak for you, but like for me, I didn't allow it. I tried my hardest, to trust God and not allow it to reach me so mentally that, I couldn't come back from it, and, and still have that faith that one day, we will be blessed with a beautiful baby and that kind of thing. And so I think also accepting their help and being around them and having that time to really just think about it, but also, not be so alone and just soaking in our emotions and everything. Because I think during that time, having them around, we like had movie nights all the time, and they made a point to, talk about it with us whenever we needed to talk about it, check on us, even like in their house, check on us like, hey, how y'all doing today? Y'all okay? Let's go out to eat. Let's go bowling. Let's, get out. Let's not so, but however, if you guys need that time.
And like, not even just in a way of just making us talk, but it was like them listening, but also them empathizing with us. I think like going through something like that, it might be easy to sympathize with the person, like just feel sorry for them, but for them to actually be able to sit in that pain as much as they could with us. And I think that's something that they did. Like it wasn't like they would they, as much as they could, they didn't just look from afar and watch us in pain. Like they was like, no, we're gonna sit here with you as long as you need us to sit here with you.
And we'll feel this with you, and we'll, whatever we need to do to get, beyond this pain and through this pain, we're here with you guys to get through that, whatever that means for you,
Right.
So.
And that's not even knowing what was going on in their lives or where it's almost as if they put their life on pause.
Absolutely.
To help us heal.
Absolutely.
And you don't get that from everybody. You don't.
Yeah. Our support system was awesome. We're thankful. We are thankful to God for them.
Yeah. You know who you are.
Yeah, so that experience as a whole, I think it definitely has grown us. Even in our marriage, like we haven't really kind of talked about that as much. Like I feel like our marriage has definitely, I think, gotten stronger from that experience. You get stronger from shared experiences and that kind of thing. You get closer and you begin to know a person from shared experiences, but like just really learning how to maneuver around each other, deal with that. Because even in our dating, like we dated for 5 years, we had never experienced something like that. I mean, the closest thing might have been like when a family member had died or something like that. But for something so personal, for both of us, and it was just like, whoa, yeah. So I think our marriage definitely grew in that, in our faith as a couple, and that kind of thing.
I mean, I agree. Like, and I think kind of to that point, I think that's like the strength of what marriage is intended to be. Like, for you to be able to go, like, for two people to be able to go through a life-changing experience, and because they've made this promise and this covenant before God to be with each other, through all of these different sickness and in health, like, through good and bad, like literally being able to experience the bad and come out the other side. Like I think that's one of the most powerful things about what marriage is representing. Like, you're not just agreeing to be with someone. Like, I feel like in dating, it's so much easier to be with a person when everything is going great. Because obviously you're dating a person because you enjoy the things that are going on, but there's not as much like there's not as much weight there, because like, the moment something bad happened, y'all just dating. You can just
break up.
Yeah, you can just break up, right?
Leave.
And when you feel better, then y'all get back together. Yeah. And then next week y'all can break up again. Some of y'all probably doing that right now. But I mean, in marriage, there is no breakup. There is no. I mean, some people do this. Don't get me wrong, but like in what we believe godly marriage, like what marriage, the covenant of marriage was intended to be. There's no time off. There's no days off. There is no,
I'm gonna take a break. You on your side, like.
So then to have to learn, okay, I don't know what to do with my feelings right now. I don't know what to do with her feelings right now. But we got to figure it out. Yeah. Or not so much that, like, of course, don't want to take any glory from God, but it's like we can't run from this. There is no running. Because eventually, even with our friends taking us in, eventually we gotta come home. Yeah. Eventually, like life goes on. Yeah. Like life doesn't stop because we're experiencing pain. Yeah. So it's like it's almost because we are in covenant the way we are, we have to grow. Because if we don't, it's like we don't last if we don't grow. Right. We can't get through those things if we don't grow. So just to your point, I mean, I think that is marriage. I feel like that's when marriage like is tested. Like, I think it's definitely a beautiful thing when you can have a marriage and you don't experience it. And I'm not saying that your marriage can't be beautiful or your marriage isn't real if you don't go through anything. And I definitely believe God uses tests like that. Yeah. I think God uses things to be able to fortify us and to be able to say, okay, you have this experience. Now, not only do you know how to enjoy each other in laughter and in joy, but you can still find a way to enjoy and be with one another in pain.
In pain, yeah. Right. Yep, that's real. So that is the, I guess, gist of our, miscarriage experience and how that was for us. Of course, we're going to talk about our new little joy. So of course, look out for that video. It's coming up next. We cannot wait to share with you guys how excited we are about our new little boy that we're having, and just everything that kind of transitioned into this new pregnancy from, you know, our miscarriage and everything like that. But I do want to say before we go that if you have experienced it, you know, a miscarriage, or if you ever do in the future, God forbid, I pray no one, I would never wish that on our worst enemy, because it was hard. But if you ever do, you know, go through that, or if you have, just always remember, you know, our Father, you know, who is there for us. And of course, we probably always hear, you know, prayer and talking to God makes things better. But I just want to express how real that can be, like having that faith to go to God if you're angry. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
I believe we went to God like,
because that was expressed. Oh, best believe.
What is this? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like
you
he
know?
had to be a God that get hold anger that day. Because I'm like, God, like how? Because you always hear people go through different things like that, and I don't think we ever really think about, no, what if it was God took the thing away from you? Like, other, you know, you see people lose loved ones, you see people go through tragic things, and they're victims, and they didn't do anything for it. But what happens when it's like you're the victim?
Yeah.
Like God took the thing away from you, and you have to, like, we really had to wrestle with, like, wait, okay, we trust God.
We trust God,
and you took this baby. Like, and you know, your word says all things work together for good. We love to quote that, but it's like, how can I find good out of a miscarriage?
This, yeah.
You know?
And I think one thing, like even just sharing now, like having the opportunity to share with you guys our, I'm going to say testimony, you know, from the growth and things that we had from the miscarriage and everything. I think it is very, it can be very uplifting, you know, to just honestly express their feelings to God.
Yeah.
Honestly, just talk to him like he is your father. Like he is your father. So, you know, you can go to him and tell him when you're upset, tell him when you're hurt, tell him when you're, you know, thinking certain things.
Cause I mean, the reality is, it ain't like he don't know.
Right. Like, so, and he knows your feelings. So expressing them, that's one way to get it out. But then also use discernment in this, but have people there for you to, you know, kind of lean on and go through things with. I know everybody may not have the luxury, you know, of having people there for that support and everything like that. But if you do, you know, allow those people to be there for you. If they are stretching out that hand, like, you know, come sit with me, or come talk to me, come talk my ear off, come cry with me, or whatever the case may be. You don't want to go through this kind of thing alone. Yeah. Because there's no telling how far your mind will go. And, you know, I just feel like with certain people there, that will and that mental state, it can be sucked away very easily in that kind of situation, because it is very traumatic and very stressful, and everything. But of course, we never, our first option is always want to say, talk to God, you know, use God, lean on God, because like we said, he already knows, he's there, you know what I'm saying? You can fuss, you can yell, you can scream, shout, whatever you need to do with him, you can do that, and that kind of thing.
And he's still gonna love you.
Absolutely.
I think that's you can do all of that and know that you won't be judged because of it.
Right.
Like, you're not gonna be judged for feeling your feelings. And I think that was important for me, I know.
You know, there are gonna probably be people who try to say, or they may ask you, or they may say, you know, was it something that you did, or what did you do, or how did you eat? You know, do you need to lose weight, or do you know what I'm saying? There's different things that people will try to put out there like it's your fault. But listen, there's like, just shut people out. Like, those people, shut them out. Like, don't let people, you know, put more on you than you're already dealing with, because it's a lot.
Right.
You know, we were quick to kind of just be like, we don't need any advice, you know. We don't need opinions. All we need is a listening ear if we're ready to talk. Or,
right. There's a time and place.
There's a time and place for everything. So don't feel like you have to talk to anybody. But whenever you want to and there's somebody there, take it. You know what I'm saying? Take that.
Yeah.
And
it's okay if you don't know what it looks like.
Right.
Like, I don't think we knew. Like, it started off, like we said, just literally just going into their home.
Right.
And just spending time. Not every night was talking about it. Some nights, like you said, was movies. Was games. Was just eating. Was just a regular night going to bed. Yeah, like it wasn't like it was always focused on the thing.
Yeah.
It was just there is space.
Just holding space.
Yeah, they literally were just holding space. Like, when you're ready, we're here.
Yeah.
Or you're not ready today? Cool. We'll be ready tomorrow.
Absolutely.
You know?
So, in ending this and everything, we would definitely like to extend ourselves, you know, to be those people that you may need, you know, to listen to you, to talk to express yourself, or whatever the case may be. We'll put our social media up so you can DM us, or my email will be down below. You can email us, whatever you want to do. Just contact us, reach out, and we'll be here. We may not have all the answers.
I don't have any answers except Jesus.
Okay, so we may not have, you know, all the answers that you may need, but we can definitely hold space for you. Maybe we can find answers, you know, if you have questions about God, if it's even unrelated to miscarriage and just struggle in general, or, you know, questions about God and everything like that. We would definitely love to, you know, be those people for you and talk to you about that kind of stuff, and everything like that.
Yeah. But look, this is not where the story ends. So you definitely want to tune in next week.
Of course.
Because just like Jesus rose, and Jesus is not dead, but he's alive, it's something yet alive.
Yes. Definitely tune in next week for that video. It will be up.
You don't want to miss it.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when that video comes up. And comment below whatever else you want to see or hear from us, any questions you may have, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, always remember, we love you. God loves you. You are loved. See you next week.
Bye.
Hit the subscribe button.